The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's David, and welcome to our product training webinar. This one today is going to be on the X39 and stem cells. You're going to learn all about what stem cells are, why they're important for your health, and how you can get the most out of the X39. So I think you're really going to find it educational and, of course, enjoyable and very useful. Now, before we get to that, just a few quick things. And one thing that I wanted to go over with you, for those of you that are new, is our LifeWave X39 website. So for those of you that are new, this is our resource that we are using to spread the word on the X39 while we are in pre-launch. So on this website, you're going to be able to come here and find the latest information on what X39 is all about. And of course, in short, it has been known as our stem cell patch. You're also going to find out how you can get a 1-month supply of the X39 while we are in pre-launch. And you can also learn about each week what other people are saying about the X39. Every week we update this with new testimonials, and there are testimonials that we get in daily now on the X39. So come over to lifewavex39.com and you can stay updated on everything that's going on in the world of this new patch. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with our training. Now, as with all of our webinars, you will have an opportunity at the end to ask any questions that you might like, or if you even want to share a story about your success with the X39, we would welcome that as well. And you can use the webinar system to either raise your hand or you can write in a question or a comment. Now, of course, the X39 is a completely new generation of LifeWave patches, and it is all about stem cells. So, of course, stem cells are the cutting edge of regenerative medicine. It's all out in the medical literature now and in the public of research that's going on. But what exactly are stem cells? Why is everyone talking about stem cells, and what effect do they have on our health? Well, this is exactly what we are going to be exploring today. So let's take a look at it. Now, the first thing is there is a big, long definition for what stem cells are, and here it is if you would like to read it, but we can abbreviate this into a very simple understanding in that stem cells are a neutral cell, and they're capable of differentiating into every other cell in the body. So, in other words, you have like a universal cell. It's like a universal part that can become anything else. So, if you needed stem cells to make parts for your brain, your nervous system, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, that's what stem cells do. Now, of course, it's more complicated than that, and there is going to be quite a bit of technical information on this webinar. I'm going to warn you in advance. But don't worry, we're going to make it very simple for anybody to understand. And we'll keep coming back to some very basic topics. So stem cells then, they can divide into other cells in the body. And really important thing for us to know is that they are part of our body's repair system. So when a part of our body is injured, so let's say we're getting some phenomenal testimonials right now on people that have used the X39 to repair damage to their knees. And this is stem cells being activated to initiate repair. So as we're growing over time and as we're repairing damage, that's all stem cells doing that job. So when a stem cell divides, it can take two different paths. It can either become more stem cells, or it can divide into highly specialized cells like muscle tissue, liver, heart, kidneys, and so forth. And so this is just a way of saying that another way of saying that these stem cells are universal and they can become whatever your body needs them to become. Again, that's an overly simplistic definition of stem cells. It gets a lot more complicated. So this makes it obvious then that stem cells are going to be important for many different reasons. But here's just another way of looking at it. You have stem cells at the center, and they can go and become what they're needed to become. Now, another important thing to know about stem cells is that they're found throughout the entire body. It used to be thought that stem cells were located in the bone marrow, and that's how you'd get to them. Then it was discovered that you'd find stem cells in fatty tissue, so you could extract them from there. But now, really, what we're understanding is that adult stem cells, are located throughout the body, and this is because these stem cells become specialized, and they're needed at locations throughout the body for normal growth and for normal repair. So, not surprisingly, there's research all over the world into stem cells. We've been very fortunate to work with the National University of Ireland in Galway, and they're one of the premier centers in the world for regenerative medicine and stem cell research. So it's obvious, with advancements in stem cells, we'll be able to treat different types of degenerative conditions, such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, damage to the kidneys, the liver, and even regenerate entire portions of the body that might have been lost from an accident. So this is the reason for the excitement. As a matter of fact, just as a point of note, one of the advancements in stem cells occurred right here in La Jolla, California, right in Southern Cal. Now, this diagram is going to be probably the most important that we're going to show this evening, because it's really going to help you understand the positives and the negatives of existing stem cell therapy. And that will make the advantage of the X39 really easy to understand. So we start all the way at the top with these omnipotent or totipotent stem cells, which become the pluripotent stem cells. So when we're thinking about what's the most powerful stem cell therapy, it's really being able to get these pluripotent stem cells, this is with current technology, get these pluripotent stem cells and inject them where they're needed. And stem cell therapy, by the way, is illegal in most countries for a really good reason. We'll cover this in more detail. But as you can see, as you get farther down the line here into the multipotent stem cells, multipotent stem cells are not as powerful as pluripotent in that they only divide into very specific tissue. So let's say, for example, you take these multipotent stem cells over here, and these are programmed to become skin cells, but now you inject them into the thyroid. Let's say that you were trying to regenerate the thyroid gland. Well, you would cause a lot of harm to your thyroid by doing that, because these stem cells here that are designed for the skin will not become thyroid cells, and you'll end up with very, very serious health condition. One of the conditions is disfigurement, actually. This happened during some research into using stem cells as a treatment for Parkinson's disease. 30% of the time people were disfigured by the therapy. So this is among many reasons why stem cell therapy has not been approved by regulatory bodies in the European Union and the FDA here in the United States. So these pluripotent stem cells can basically give rise to any type of cell in the body. So a lot of research is focused on pluripotent stem cells. The multipotent stem cells, on the other hand, can only give rise to a smaller number of different types of cells. And so this is what makes stem cell research very complicated when it comes to actually administering this into human beings. So this becomes perhaps even more challenging when we think about it, where we say, okay, could we take stem cells from our body and inject them to an injury site where they're needed? And this is actually being done today, but you can see that if you extract the wrong stem cells, this is going to lead to a lot of problems. And this is probably perhaps obvious then, is that stem cell therapy has become very controversial as a result of some of these side effects and some of the implications. So years ago, when debates were going on about human cloning, could stem cells be used to create a human clone? And that was among the arguments. Of course, umbilical cord stem cells has been another area of controversy, but that's probably where one of the futures of stem cell medicine will end up. Now, unfortunately, like in every industry, stem cells are not exempt. You have places now that are offering stem cell treatments which are making claims that are not well supported and in fact may not even be legal. So if you are considering stem cell therapy, here's some things that you should know, and also why the X39 is so advantageous. First, there are very few stem cell treatments that have been scientifically proven safe and effective. So we list an example here where you can take bone, skin, and eye injuries where they can be treated by grafting different tissue over to the affected area and then healing it with stem cells that were in the implanted tissue. So because of this problem where different types of stem cells come from different places in your body, there is a limitation on the safety and the efficacy of existing stem cell therapy. So again, we would not want to inject stem cells that were intended for the brain into the liver. This could lead to a lot of problems. Now, something else that people don't take into consideration is that while your own stem cells would not be attacked by your immune system, problem is that when your stem cells are removed from the body, they have to be processed, and if there's any errors made in the processing, this can affect the outcome. Now, I once had the opportunity to speak with the chairman for regenerative medicine for the FDA on this subject of stem cell therapy, and what he said to me is that with existing technology, stem cell therapy worked about 30% of the time. Another 30% of the time, or about, didn't really have any effect. But about a third of the time, stem cell therapy would actually damage the healthy tissue and could potentially cause disfigurement and other injuries. So this is not to be taken lightly. So given how expensive stem cell therapy can range from anywhere from thousands of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars, I once met a medical doctor in Thailand doing injections of stem cells that were going for $25,000 a month. So with the safety concerns, the high risks, questions of efficacy, the legality, wouldn't it be much better to have a way to activate the stem cells that are already in your body? Your body already has these stem cells, but as we age, they become less active and less effective. So what if there was a way to stir up these stem cells and make them active again, where you could heal the way that you did when you were in your 20s? How could we do that? This approach would obviously be very safe, be highly effective, and also inexpensive compared to other methods available. And that's what the X39 patch is all about. X39 elevates a peptide in the body that will activate stem cells. Now, activate is a rather generic term, and we're going to be explaining this at the product launch in January, where we unveil what the X39 is and what it all does. I will tell you that when you look at the information that we have on the X39, you are only seeing 5% of the picture. This is an extraordinarily powerful product, and it has far-reaching health benefits. So we're going to be looking forward to sharing that with you at the official launch. But the main thing that you need to know about this is our stem cell patch. Now, another thing that would be important for you to know if you haven't used the X39 is that it does indeed produce an immediate effect. And the immediate effect is very interesting depending on the person using it. So let's say, for example, you or someone you know has an injury. Of course, there's going to be pain and some limited range of motion perhaps with this injury. One of the things that people experience with the X39 is an immediate reduction in pain, immediate reduction in inflammation, and of course, very, very rapid wound healing. We also see that this has the consequence of improving the quality of sleep, improving people's energy. Even for people that exercise, they notice an improvement in their rate of recovery. Now, this makes sense. If you're weightlifting, as an example, when you weightlift, you're damaging the muscle so you can build it back stronger again. Well, because the X39 activates stem cells, now we're going to be able to heal the damage to that muscle much more quickly, you recover more quickly, and you increase your strength and stamina. Now, of course, there's other effects with the X39, such as improvement in the quality of the skin, where we see tightening of the skin, reduction in wrinkles. People are even reporting hair growth after multiple weeks of using the product, and some other things almost too extraordinary to mention. So, this all said, how do we get the most use out of the X39 patch? What do? Well, let's keep in mind that when the body is repairing itself, we need protein and healthy fat. So you want to make sure that each day you're getting enough protein and getting enough healthy fat. This could be a challenge for vegans, so I definitely recommend supplementing. For those people that are pescatarians or that like fish, salmon or mackerel are great choices because they're great sources of protein and they're very high in omega-3 fatty acids. Now, I'd also recommend an inexpensive mineral supplement. When you're talking about the body's repair mechanism, you have to have proper levels of minerals. So things like magnesium, zinc, and copper are all used to drive the repair process. So most people do not have a good diet, so I would definitely recommend getting an inexpensive mineral supplement and getting your magnesium, zinc, copper, and other trace minerals. Now, what about the X39 itself? How could you get the best use out of it? Well, some of our patches, like glutathione, are best used 7 days a week. Other patches are used less frequently. So what about the X39? Well, based on current information, I would recommend using the X39 from 5 to 7 days per week. And you can experiment to see what works best for you. Now, when you look at our website and you get our emails and you're looking at testimonials, most of those people are using the X39 during the day. However, we have many people trying the X39 in the evening and really enjoying it. So from a technical basis, you could use the X39 either during the day or at night. The choice is really yours. Also, what's been very interesting is where you put the patch. For the majority of people using the X39, they simply apply it on the back of their neck and they get benefits throughout the entire body. Now, in the case of injuries, like a problem with the knee or the back or the hip, we have people that will apply the X39 locally at the site of the injury or the wound, which is perfectly fine. Now, one thing that's really interesting is that one X39 patch does treat the entire body. So we've had people that have had knee problems, like bone on bone with the knees, where they report great results repairing the knees with the patch on the back of the neck. And also some people say, well, I put it right at the knee and it works for me there. So I would say feel free to experiment, and the technology is very, very flexible that way. Okay, now I think I've realized I've spoken for 20 minutes without taking a sip of water. Maybe that's because I'm so excited about the product. But now is the time where we can hear from all of you. So please use the webinar system to raise your hand and I will unmute your microphone. Or if you prefer, you can simply write in a question. We have a ton of questions right now. So we'll see how many people we can get to. Also, please no medical questions. I know a lot of you are interested in finding out whether or not the X39 can be used to treat any different type of health condition. But I am not a medical doctor, and we cannot make any claims about the use of this product to treat any type of medical condition. So we've gotten in one comment here, we have gotten in several testimonials from Dr. Quila Ryder, and she has reported that she is getting super results with the X39, even just by holding it in the fingers. Wow. Very impressive, Dr. Quila, and thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for those great testimonials, by the way. Okay, let's see. Hi again, David. I have two questions. Do you have a preference for a brand of mineral supplements that we can recommend to our users? You know, with mineral supplements, let's say, for example, like magnesium, there's a few generic brands that are fine. Magnesium citrate is okay. I tend to like magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate, which is a little bit more difficult to find, but it's highly absorbable. Magnesium orotate is also highly absorbable. Magnesium taurate is another good one, but an inexpensive magnesium citrate is fine. And generally 400 milligrams per day is going to be good for most people. I also tend to like life extension products. I've met the owner of the company and I feel that they have very good quality standards. They also have an excellent scientific board. So that would be a good brand. Is it okay to wear X39 patches for more than 12 hours? No. I do not recommend this. LifeWave is named because the body works in waves. So, for example, we don't have hormones that are being produced 24 hours a day. Everything goes in cycles. So we produce melatonin in the evening, and we're producing very little melatonin during the day. It's necessary to have these on and off cycles. So the same is really true with the X39. You can have a period where you're using it for 12 hours, but then take that other time off. Let the body work in a natural rhythm. Another thing about the peptide that the X39 elevates, it tends to hang around in the body, so you really don't need to wear it more than 12 hours, based on our current research. Okay, let's go over to Jeff Momora.
Hello, David.
Jeff, how are you?
Blessed and blessed. Thank you so much for all you do.
Wonderful. How have you been?
Oh, doing more amazing miracles with the X39.
I had a feeling you'd say that, so please do share.
Well, the amazing, more impact. As you know, I do a lot of spiritual work, but this has a lot of mental. I call it like a shift. So it has a shift mentally, very. Not making any claims, but even people that are not really wanting to live anymore. So it has something to do with the brain and the mental function and the hormones also. Especially for me, I could tell my testosterone is like boosted quite a bit.
Now that's interesting you say that. Have you also noticed a corresponding improvement in the quality of your sleep?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, with people that doing a lot of work now, people that are on the X39, they have actually being tired on the similar time, like more regular deep sleep, like consistently every night. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think you may have been on the webinar last week where I shared this. I was on a testimonial webinar, and one of our leaders in Europe, his libido, of course, you know, this is from the testosterone levels, but his libido has increased so much that his girlfriend refers to this as the Sex 39 patch. But I will tell you, people are right. The testosterone levels are definitely going up in men because of X39. Sleep is definitely being improved. And you're not imagining this. When we're talking about the effects on mood and the brain, there's a very specific, important, impactful change in brain chemistry that's occurring. And we'll get into this in more detail in the product launch. But absolutely, what you're observing definitely holds up with the product effects.
Thank you so much. I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is there any synergistic effect with the IGF-1, like with Theta-1, basically with Core Essentials?
Yes, because IGF-1 is part of the body's repair process. So stem cells are going to release a whole collection of growth factors. So, for example, you have IGF-1, IGF-2, a very powerful growth factor called VEGF. So yes, if you were to use arginine, which is in theta-1, and of course the colostrum, to support your IGF-1 levels, that's definitely going to be synergistic.
Oh, no wonder I feel so great.
Well, I know that you take care of your health very well, so no surprise there.
Thank you so much, David, and much blessings, much love and light to you.
Thank you, Jeff. Same to you. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. We got a ton of questions here. We'll get to as many as we can, I promise. How much is adequate amounts of protein and fatty acids? Wow, great question. So this is going to have a lot to do with a person's age, with their level of exercise, and other factors. So first, when it comes to protein, if we were to look at, let's say we'll go to the extreme end of a bodybuilder. You could say that a bodybuilder might require about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So a 200-pound person would get 200 grams of protein per day. If you have someone that's not an athlete, then you could say half of that or less, 80 to 100 grams of protein might be satisfactory. There's a lot of controversy about this subject of protein intake, But when it comes to athletes, people that are interested in building muscle, I think that the clinical data is extraordinarily solid and irrefutable. When it comes to fatty acids, one thing that's fortunate about fatty acids is that you could take 20 grams of omega-3s per day, and it's going to be non-toxic. And the body has detoxification pathways, even if the oils are rancid. As a matter of fact, there's been some clinical studies to show what happens is there efficacious effects like fat loss when we increase our fatty acids or omega-3s to those kind of levels. So this is all to say, if you were to have several grams of omega-3s in your diet each day, that would be great. So certainly 1 gram I think is on the low side. I would go for 2-3 grams easy, all depending on the effects that you're looking for. And of course, you'd want to get the majority of that from your diet and then supplement where necessary. Isn't our Theta Pure enough for the essential fatty acid recommendation? Yes, absolutely it is. Theta Pure Premium is a very high potency fatty acid formula. So yes, if you're just doing that, then you're fine. Would you put the patch on a scar directly? Absolutely. No reason why you can't do that. Another question, can you use the patch for 24 hours? No. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Will it treat kidney pain? I'm going to say we don't know the answer to that. What is the research on stem cells and dental issues? Very, very interesting research. Of course, stem cells, the research on stem cells, not our patch. The research on stem cells has been used for bone growth, both in conditions where people have broken bones and for regrowth of lost bones. As a matter of fact, we work with a scientist that has developed a gel that is similar to our seaweed extract that we use in Theta Premium. And this gel, when applied to the teeth, will actually regrow the bone that is lost in the jaw over time. This would be a product that we will offer in the future. But yes, definitely stem cells have the potential to regenerate lost bone in the jaw as well as other parts of the body. Okay, thank you for sending that website. I will take a look at that. Can you share more about your current personal experience with the X39? We're at the bottom of the hour, and my own personal testimonial would go pretty long, but let me give you the short version of this. I had a car accident 30 years ago. It almost killed my father and I, and as a result, my spine shifted upwards, and it created a degenerative condition in my lower back. Fortunately, because of LifeWave, I live without pain, but when I exercise in the gym, doing things like sprints and leg work like squats, this will create a stiffness and a weakness in the lower back. Since using X39, 3 weeks into it, that problem has now disappeared. And I will tell you, it is really weird to have an injury for 30 years and then wake up one day and it's gone. Just prior to using X39, during the month of June, I was in the gym and doing squats actually, and I tore my right oblique muscle. Using the X39, it healed incredibly fast. Personally, I have noticed a dramatic improvement in the quality of my sleep with X39. My sleep is very, very deep with this. And I am starting to see some hair growth that I just noticed 2 days ago on the front of my scalp. So I'm looking forward to seeing if some of my hair grows back. So that, I think, is a good snapshot of my personal experiences with X39. So we are getting greetings from the Philippines. from some of our longtime LifeWave friends and family members. And yes, absolutely looking forward to having you try X39 and hearing back from you. And thank you so much for being on here today. Let's see. I have had a friend who has used the X39 patch. Okay, so this is a testimonial. I have a friend who placed X39 on the knee, and they have a knee problem, and one day and second day on opposite knee, and had a total reduction of pain simply by placing the patch on the knee. Excellent results. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And also, if I could ask you to email that testimonial to our customer service department, we would love to share that with our members. What email address do we use to ask you a question? Just simply email customer service, and that will get to me. Okay, now we have one user, I'm going to cover this, that's using X39 for about 2 hours, and then they have to remove it. Now, this is important. I want to explain this, and sorry about the afternoon sun here if you can't see me too well. But this is rather important, actually, because as the X39 is repairing the body, it has to remove the old damaged tissue. So this can create some very serious detox effects. So this could show up as nausea, a headache, being very, very thirsty, increasing your need for water. So simply what you would do is use the X39 for as many hours as you can, remove it, and then take a break. You might have to go 1 day on and 1 day off. Experiment with it. But it is completely normal to have this type of effect. It also would be normal where if you, let's say we're trying to treat a knee pain and help that heal, where you might get a temporary increase in the pain in the knee. Again, this is the inflammation that's being created to tear down the old tissue to make room for the new tissue. Degenerative disc, what is your take on the X39 with this? Again, I've had dramatic improvement in myself with it, and we had a woman that was incapacitated with a degenerative disc that got up and walking again, and actually she's at the doctor today for an MRI and looking forward to seeing her before and afters. I have one more minute left and we are already way past the hour. I'll see if there's one more quick. I'm sorry, there's a ton of questions here. We have huge attendance tonight, so thank you for being here. Are you using the patch at night or in the morning? I use the patch during the day. So I place the patch on in the morning after I have washed up, and then I take it off just before sleep. And I notice a dramatic improvement in my sleep quality when I am not using the X39. So again, this is the peptide that it's elevating that's hanging around in the body, making these changes. So you really don't need to use it 24 hours a day. For bone on bone, how long would it take before they get benefit? Well, I could use a couple of examples, but a good one would be our Chief Financial Officer, Joe DePanfilis, who works next to me. And Joe submitted his testimonial. He was absolutely blown away with the results. He'd been using LifeWave patches for the past couple of years to manage his pain, but his doctor kept telling him, look, you know, you're bone on bone and you need to get a knee replacement. And he removed Eon, IceWave, and glutathione, placed one X39 right at the knee, and instantaneously he got pain relief. By the end of the first week, his mobility had returned to normal. And as a matter of fact, that weekend he went out to celebrate by playing golf, and he shot the best round in his life. So we have many, many examples of results with using the patches on the knees. Many. And I think that's about all we have time for. Oh, right at the kneecap, yes. Place it right on the point of pain or right on the kneecap. And I can tell you, we got in a testimonial this week from a woman that has problems with both of her knees. She's had those problems for 40 years. Placing the X39 on the back of her neck, now her knees feel great, and she's no longer suffering. And thank you for that very kind comment from our LifeWave member out in Arizona. That was very, very sweet. Thank you so much, and happy to be of help. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. I am off to the gym, actually, and I'm going to do some sprinting this evening. It's my HIIT training day, and I'm all patched up with X39 and energy patches, so I'm looking forward to that. So thanks for being here. This webinar is recorded, so it'll be available on LifeWave's YouTube channel. And, of course, please keep coming back to LifeWaveX39.com as we update it weekly with new information. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and please share your X39 testimonial with us. Send it into customer service. We would love to share your success with others. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.